Hey everyone, I hope you're taking it easy and your day has been great thus far. For this video, we'll be going through an unboxing of the Evangelion Mark.06, which is a real great kit, by the way, as you can probably tell quite clearly from just looking at the top of the box. And the Mark.06 is from the rebuild of Evangelion tetralogy of movies, and this was released back in 2021 by Bandai. So coming to almost the end of the real grade Eva unboxings, the Mark.06 is obviously being done now, and the last particular real grade Eva will be Unit 3. Mainly because it's in a larger box, but that's okay. I do have the P Bandai Unit 4 on its way, so I will do the unboxing for that shortly after it arrives. I think it's coming by sea, so it could still be another month or two. But yes, it's pretty much just this Mark.06 and Unit 3 to wrap up the Eva unboxing, so we're almost there. So here we have the front of the box of Eva Mark.06. Now I will admit, I quite like the look of Mark.06. Mainly because it has taken some of the aesthetics that we are usually quite accustomed to and twisted them ever so slightly. So I think, other than the head and the colors, which is pretty much a given between each of these real grades, the shoulder pylons will be a bit of a change from what we have basically seen in every other iteration of a Evangelion kit. So that'll be a nice refreshing change. Otherwise, I would imagine the rest of the build is the same. So, front of the box, head of Mark.06, and then a full body shot of Mark.06. In terms of the bottom of the box, we do have the usual little idea / description of real grade and how it applies to Eva. In terms of everything else, on the far right we have a image of the assembled Mark.06 with its runners there, and I do believe that's pretty much a stock standard straight out of the box. Information about some of the realistic decals that are included, or decals, either. And then we have some articulation / pose shots of Mark.06, which is really cool. Breakdown of the components used to create its full color separated head, and some of the inclusions such as the Spear of Cassius and this little halo that can be put above its head. But it does refer back to a action base for sold separately, so I get the feeling, whilst this will be included, without an action base, there may be no... Oh, actually no, I take that back. Mark.06 is standing on its own right here, and it does look like it has the halo on, so I guess in time we'll see. Other side of the box, just a few more shots of the Mark.06 in some different poses, and yeah, it's interesting what a different color scheme will do, a different head and different shoulders will do. It's nothing major, but it's enough of a difference to really give it a lot of pop. Now I do remember building the Bandai kit of the Mark.06 when the third movie came out. Yes. Ages ago, and it definitely wasn't a bad build, but it definitely had some faults about it, so I'm hoping the real grade version will alleviate some of that. So taking off the box lid, now we've done this a few times, so there will be a number of bags. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bags, 9 bags if you include the halo and the decals, and the manual at the bottom. Be interesting to see how many runners this all comes on, but it looks like we're going to have some very dedicated hybridized runners for the Mark 6, so that's obviously an interesting takeaway, but I do expect a lot of the other runners to be copies and reuses of what we've seen from Unit 2 and Unit 8, and ultimately what I would have seen when building Unit 1 and Unit 0. Anyway, less talking, more on bagging. And with everything now out of the bags, I am actually pleasantly surprised. I thought the kit would only have a few different pieces here and there, given some of the differences between Unit 2 and Unit 8. But no, Mark 6 is actually a lot more different than I thought, but we'll go through that in a moment. Front of the manual, sporting the head of Mark 6. Back of the manual, just the instructions on where things go. I actually do suspect there are a lot more differences with Mark 6 than I actually give it credit for, other than the obvious. In terms of the manual, so we do have a fairly comprehensive parts list, but the interesting thing is, so we've seen the usual runners from A to L and beyond, subject to what particular kit, but what Mark 6 now actually does introduces a new A series of runners. So we start off the A runners that are unique to Mark 6 with AA, AB, AC, etc. right through to AE 1 and 2. So I guess in a way it's similar to what's been done with the other units, given that Unit 8 did come close to finishing the alphabet, so it is possible Mark 6 did come out after Unit 8 and just continued the trend, but I don't know, make it out as you will. Going through the build, so we do have a nice blurb about Mark 6 being the quote-unquote true Evangelion. Otherwise, in terms of the build, go through the body, which should probably be the same, although some of the front torso armor patterning may be different. Otherwise, everything looks pretty much the same. Building the head, we do have some interesting runners for that. They will be undergating, which is good. And then putting the head together, so that will be unique to Eva Mark 6. The legs, as far as I know, are pretty much exactly the same, and there will be a moving check, which is fine. That's the leg build, then attaching that to the main body. Then there's a bit of a highlight on the weapon, being the Spear of Cassius. Going through the arms, I suspect the arms will be the same up until the shoulders, and I do expect the shoulders to actually be somewhat different and unique from what we're expecting. There'll be some common attributes between them, but the shape alone is definitely different from what we're used to. But no doubt they will obviously all slide in together like normal. The Spear of Cassius will get its own few bits and bobs of build time, which is to be expected. Entry plug, pretty normal. So the halo does have some connection points normally for it, and then that connection point is there and serves as the connection for the action base. So while standing, Mark 6 can have the halo up, but it isn't more prominent until you put him on an action base. That's the manual for the Mark 6. In terms of everything else, decals, a much smaller decal sheet than what we've seen, which is good. I may or may not use some of those realistic metallic bits. Time will tell. The other loose item, which I've still kept in its plastic, is the halo effect, which is kind of cool. And it does have some pre-coloring on that halo as well. As for the runners, we'll try and skip pretty quickly through some of the ones we've seen before. A runner in blue, we have seen this plenty of times before. So a lot of these initial runners right through to L we have seen in some shape or form. B1, seen already. This time it is now in a very nice Prussian blue, dark blue, some type of blue, royal blue. The ways you can describe blue these days. So that's B1. C runner, that's pretty much universal. Not much to say about this, but there will be some extra bits and pieces in the way of the progressive knives. That's also the same color, so that's the dark grey, black charcoal look. D runner, stock standard between all the Ava real grades as well, and the usual coloring and look. And we also have a E runner. Now I'm pretty sure it happens, but I don't actively recall seeing it in some of the previous units. But E runner, still that dark grey / black type of finish about it. F1 in, I'm going to say black. We have seen this runner before, just obviously in different colours. Likewise, G1 we have seen before as well. However, this time it's more of a dark golden yellow / orange type look. H1 we've definitely seen before. I think usually we see this in golden yellow. Now we're seeing this in a bit of a shadow grey. So that'll be for the knuckles of the hands. We have... oh, that was H1. H2, sorry. I believe this is in a dark grey. We have seen this one before as well. We should have 2 eyes. Yeah. I1 and I2. I1 is in white. Seen this before. I2 is in shadow grey. We have seen this before. Usually it's yellow, I believe. So 2 eye runners, which we've seen before. J runner has had some bits omitted, so the J runner will now only include the hand manipulators and the entry plug. The components related to the pallet rifle have been intentionally taken off. So there you go. Entry plug is still in white. The hand manipulators will be in that blue that's been running through the kit. Now, what do we have here? We have the L runner in translucent red. Nothing overly new. We've seen this before. Now, the following runners are all unique to Mark 6. So we have AA, which is in that dark grey black. A lot of items will look similar, but clearly there's been enough difference in them to warrant different parts. So I can definitely see bits of the arms, probably bits of the chest, torso, definitely the shoulder pylons, and I'm sure there's some other good pieces in there as well. So that's AA. We have a multicolor AB, translucent red for the visor, shadow grey for some bits and pieces, brown, and a golden yellow / orange for those particular parts. So that's AB. We have an AC, which is in the one flat color of the blue. Just looking at this piece, it kind of reminds me of parts of the Unit 1 head, interestingly enough. AC. We have the AD runner in probably that burgundy-esque type color. Most of this will be for the Spear of Cassius. In fact, it's probably all the Spear of Cassius. We have 2 AE runners, AE1, AE2. AE1 is in blue. will be the hand manipulators, most likely to hold the Spear of Cassius. AE2 looks to be in grey, and I suspect introduces another spinal type covering armor section. So that's AEs 1 and 2. We have AF 1 and 2. F1 being a translucent green, which will be for the spear, and AF2 are some clear bits, which I believe are for the action base and things like that. And lastly, we have AG, and AG is one of those pre-injected mold types, and this is basically your front head crest for the Mark 6 with the blue, white, and gold and orange, I dare say, already injected into the piece. It's been a while since we've seen some of these, actually. And that pretty much brings us to an end of the unboxing of Evangelion Mark 6. Now, I feel like I forgot to mention it because I usually do. The Mark 6, like pretty much the rest of my Evangelions, have come from HobbyLink Japan, so there will be a product link to the Mark 6 as well as the other real great Avas in the product description. Thank you very much for watching this unboxing video. Feel free to leave a like, a comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the content. All of this does help support the channel, and I do greatly appreciate it. Extra content can also be found on my Instagram account, link in the description below. Stay safe and take care, and I will catch you all in the next video. See ya.